Hello, here we are with a hands-on with the Sony Xperia XZ Premium. This is the much talked about flagship device from Sony, announced at Mobile World Congress 2017, and it's sporting the 5.5-inch 4K HDR-enabled display. That's the sort of technology many of us want in our big screen televisions that we have in our lounge at home, but it's here in a mobile device, and it's simply stunning. 807 pixels per inch on this device with a resolution of 3840 by 2160. It's quite a masterpiece, but we'll come back to that in a little bit more detail. So this device is a pre-production sample here in deep sea black. There won't be many changes really between this and the final production unit that'll be hitting the shelves from the first week of June. It'll be available SIM-free and unlocked from Clove for £649, including VAT, for the black version with 64 gig of internal storage. So let's take a quick look around the device and show you what you get. So obviously we have the screen here on the front. That's got Corning Gorilla Glass 5 on the front and on the back. Above the display we do have fairly large bezels. We've got the Sony logo, we've got the earpiece, we've got various sensors, and we've got the 13 megapixel front facing camera just up here. And then down below we've got another speaker and a piece of kind of glass. So it's quite a thick bezel around here. It's got the sort of square-ish design of Sony. Obviously it's got rounded edges, as you can see here on the sides. And on this left side we've got a cover that's over the micro SD card slot and the nano SIM card tray, so we can pull that out, and here we have a tray that's for the micro SD card slot. You can take cards up to 256 gigabytes in there, and then we've got the nano SIM slot, which it's a bit fiddly. You need a fingernail to pull this out, and let's see if I can do this just on here. There we go. It's just a little tray like that. You've probably seen them before, but the two go in there on the side like that. So it's a single SIM unit we'll be selling here at Clove, and then it's got the expansion slot to accompany the 64 gig of internal storage that's available on the device. On the top of the handset we've got 3.5mm headphone jack. We've got a microphone up there. On the right side we've got the volume up and down key. We've got the power button, also a fingerprint sensor as well. So you've got your security built in there. And then we've got a dedicated camera key on the bottom edge there, kind of thing. And right down on the bottom of the edge of the handset, we've got another microphone, and we've got the USB Type-C connector, so for charging and data transfer. Flip the device over and you'll notice that this black one is a little bit of a fingerprint magnet, and it does reflect the light, but we're not complaining about that. Just be aware of it. You've got an NFC chip built into the device on the back part of the device here. You've got the rear-facing 19 megapixel camera with all the Sony goodness in there. You can see the full specs over at clove.co.uk. You've got the LED flash and the various sensors there for the camera to give you stunning shots. And of course, one of the standout features is the fact that this device can record in not only 4K but super slow motion at 960 frames per second. So we're going to take a little look around the software, but just before we do, let's run down some of the other internal specifications. You've got a Snapdragon 835 processor in here, 4 gigabytes of RAM. You've got the 64 gig of storage, a 3230 milliamp hour battery, quick charge 3.0 as well. You're probably going to need it with this large screen. It's IP65 and 68 rated, so you can get it wet as well, so that water resistance brings us well up in line with the likes of the LG G6, Samsung Galaxy S7 and the iPhone 7 line of device. You got Bluetooth version 5 on here as well, high-res audio support, and you've also got the benefits of things like PS4 Remote Play being a Sony device. So if you're into your games, you've got the benefit of that, and you've also got this lovely large screen to play that on. So kind of fairly stock Sony sort of interface. They've toned it down over the last few years. So you've got Google Now available here. You've got your normal kind of Google services pre-installed because this is an Android device, version 7.1.1 available on it here. So you can see Gmail, Chrome, Maps, etc. as you'd expect. You've got your phone dialer, fairly standard, connects into your Google accounts and any other accounts you may have. You've got your Messenger, there for your text messages. Come back to the camera. Obviously you've got the Play Store as well. You can add shortcuts to your various home screens, and you can add widgets and things like that. You can press and hold on the screen to sort of personalize some of the settings and themes. You can also have this orientate in landscape if you wish. You can change the grid layout to make the icons bigger or smaller if you want, so you want to get more or less actually on the screen of the device. You go into the app drawer and you've got some of the pre-installed options here from Sony. So you get a music player, an album and video. You've got your PlayStation mobile gaming there. You've got clock, an email application, Google Calendar, calculator, news, sort of standard things that you'd expect there. AVG protection included, Kobo ebooks as well, Amazon and Facebook, and of course Spotify due to the tie-up that Sony have with Spotify. If we jump into the quick settings here, you've got access to the normal things you'd expect: Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, flashlight, hotspot. Those can all be customized. We can go through into the full settings and show you a little bit more about the device. So here we go. About the phone, it's the model G8141, running version 7.1.1 of Android. You've got all your usual sort of settings, so you can go into your Google account and control all the settings there that you might have for your privacy. You can set up different accounts, your location, lock screen and security, PIN code, pattern code. You've got the fingerprint built in there as well. Storage and memory. Well, Sony do offer tools to free up memory, but you can actually see that this device has 64 gig of internal storage. We're using about 16 at the moment on this device. We've got some data pre-installed on it. All your apps, your display settings and notifications can all be controlled from the settings. Everything kind of fairly standard if you're used to Android devices. So that's kind of it for the main part of it, but obviously some of the things that you really want to be aware of here on the Sony. So it's the 90 megapixel rear camera that's capable of 4K video recording and slow motion. So you've got the manual mode. You can flick over to the Superior Auto where it does a lot for you, whereas manual mode you can control a lot of the settings. You've got your video recording mode, and then you've got the slow motion option here. Now it comes up with instructions on screen, and we'll be playing about with this, and we'll be bringing you a full review here on the Clove YouTube channel. But basically you can capture some slightly different content with super slow motion, which is interesting and something that you don't really see available on other devices. And then you've got camera applications including the 4K video, YouTube and other things like that to kind of expand the options that this device can actually give you. You know, it's quite a big device with this 5.5 inch screen. It's got, you know, relatively large bezels, but there's a lot going for it on here. Now, talking of the screen, obviously this is one of the stars of the show. So what I want to kind of actually show you, you know, here's a few stills. You don't necessarily get the same impression coming through the camera as I can get with being right up here in front of the display and really enjoying it myself. But let me just play you a little bit of video. So that is really good, that screen on here. It's really hard to kind of give you an impression of how good it is. And what I'm going to try and do is bring in a Samsung Galaxy S7 and play the same video clip on it to try and give you an idea of how the two devices actually compare in terms of their colours and performance on the same clip. Now, it's going to be a little bit tricky to try and do this sort of side by side, but I'm going to try and do it and just give you a little idea. So let's do this. Okay, so it's a bit hard to kind of tell there, but you get the idea. The one thing that really stood out for me in this scene was the image of the bike. On first impressions, the Samsung kind of really pops out. You know, it catches your eye a little bit more than the Sony, but when you actually compare the two, the Sony is much more natural in terms of its colors, the shading and everything. Now, there's obviously things you can tweak with the settings on both these devices. It's a 4K screen on here compared to the 2K on the Samsung Galaxy S7. I've got them up to full brightness, but there's obviously color profile settings you can change and enhancements. I've kind of set it virtually to default so you can get the idea, but there could be changes that you can make to improve it. That's it really. That's a quick hands-on with the Sony Xperia XZ Premium. We'll be coming back at you with more content on the XZ Premium, going into more detail with a full written review. But there we have it. That's the Sony Xperia XZ Premium, available from clove.co.uk. Thanks for watching.